as bad as the defense looked in week 2 in Detroit, giving up season highs of 511 yards and 7 touchdowns, how confident are you that the Bears defense will look different following their ugly performance against the 49ers just last week?
I mean, I hate to be the bummer. I hate to be the Debbie Downer on the show, but not that confident, man. I mean, this is who this Bears defense is. Teams can move the ball up and down the field on them. Teams can rack up yards. Teams can put up points. Maybe not to the level that the 49ers did, but moving the football against this Bears team is something that opponents have been able to do all season long. Your saving grace is those turnovers, and they've been solid in the red zone, and that was the difference in the game against the Packers a few weeks ago. They moved the ball up and down the field, but I think they were 0 for 4 or 0 for 5 in scoring touchdowns when they got into the red zone in that game. So that's how you're going to have to win football. Like, we're talking Super Bowl, and I think rightly so with the way that Caleb Williams is playing and the way that offense is moving the football. But that's how you're going to have to win football games if they are going to win a Super Bowl. You're going to have to win some shootouts. You're going to have to get those turnovers. You're going to have to get those red zone stops. But when it comes to the ball moving, the opponent moving the ball on you and putting up some points, I think that's just going to happen, and you're going to have to hope for 2 or 3 turnovers and a red zone stop or two to give Caleb Williams and the offense a chance to score enough points to pull out wins here. That's who they are.
You're echoing some of the most true stuff here about the defense, obviously, with the yards, the touchdowns, the turnovers have been the saving grace. I'll offer a little bit of optimism here for the Bears defense heading into this performance. I think a large reason why you saw them take another ugly punch in the mouth, frankly, against San Francisco is because the 49ers are peaking right now, at least on that side of the ball. The Lions looks like hit theirs much earlier in the season. This is a much different team that we're looking at right now that I think could be had. And I think we know how Jared Goff plays in this colder type of weather. He's more prone to hold on to the ball longer, throw some interceptions, maybe create some turnovers. And he did that last week in a dome against another very good Vikings defense. So I'm confident that it's not going to look flawless. It's not going to look perfect near like it did against Cleveland, obviously, which is another whole situation. But I'm confident that they will look better. Cut the touchdowns maybe in half, 2 to 3 touchdowns, get a couple turnovers, and we'll be talking about, hey, they've got some positive momentum heading toward their opening round playoff game.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of confidence that they're going to look better.
That's fair.
I think they are who they are at this point. I don't, Jalen Johnson, probably not at 100%. Tremaine Edmonds definitely didn't look 100% last week. Obviously, those are 2 players that you were sort of counting on this year to be your Pro Bowl superstars that obviously battled through some adversity and struggles, and you give them a lot of credit for being back out on the field. With that being said, I do think that it was a really bad matchup for them last week. Like, I think you're going up against Kyle Shanahan, who is one of the best, if not the best, play callers in the National Football League.
Agreed.
And he schemed his guys open, and it was just a bad matchup for the Bears. And they live and die by the takeaway. Like, that's who they are. The Bears' defensive identity is taking the ball away, getting extra possessions for the offense, keeping points off the board. And if they don't do that at a steady rate over the course of a 60-minute football game, then you're going to have problems, and teams are going to score on you. So I do think this week it'll feel better because I don't know what version of the Lions we're going to see, who's going to be out there. Amon-Ra St. Brown's battling through stuff. Is he going to be out there? Offensive linemen are hurting. Like you said, Jared Goff, not so great in cold weather. So my biggest frustration with this defense and where I think they will struggle in the postseason is that there is just zero pass rush. And Austin Booker has been playing well, and he's playing with some juice. But, like, Montez Sweat, where are ya? There's been no pressure. And I think that's probably going to hurt them the most when it comes to the postseason, not to mention they can't stop the run, and their secondary is struggling when they don't take away the ball.
Yeah, and Baby T, you're right. The Lions peaked earlier in the season, that offense, but they're still sixth in the NFL with almost 370 yards per game, and third with 28.9 points per game. So they can still move the football and put some points up on the board. So that's one phase of they have a lot of injuries on defense, and that's a problem there. But that offense, man, they've been putting up points and putting up yards.
It's an interesting question.
That's the voice of Mike Florio. He will join you guys at 9 o'clock. Who's been the most impressive Bears rookie this season? Colston Loveland, Luther Burden III, Kyle Monangai, or Ozzie Trapillo?
I love this question.
I love that it's just a question. You know what I mean? I just love that it's a question.
When you look at that, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think you have to go with Kyle Monangai just because of where he was drafted. Colston Loveland is, I am literally president of the Colston Loveland fan club. My Michigan man, like, don't get me started. I've always loved Colston Loveland as a Michigan alum. With that being said, Kyle Monangai being a 7th-round draft pick and being able to contribute the way that he has this season has been just the absolute joy of the season. Because that was the piece of the offense that the world thought was missing. Like, who's going to complement DeAndre Swift? Ben Johnson likes to have 2 running backs. Who can be the hard runner, the between the tackles guy? Like, Kyle Monangai has been nothing but lights out, and just so dependable. He's had his rookie moments, of course, but this is a man who did not fumble in college, who had in 4 years at Rutgers, someone that Greg Schiano, I know the offensive line coach at Rutgers, who just raved about this player, and had really, really high hopes for him coming in and the Bears, and feeling like the Bears got a steal. He has shined. He's won the Good Morning Football, the Scepter. He's won the Angry Runs twice. Twice. I love the Angry Runs segment.
I love
it's
that
the
award.
Best.
Yeah.
So he's just been probably when you ask who's been the most impressive, considering where he was drafted, who has exceeded expectations, it's been Kyle Monangai.
Kyle Monangai has slowly morphed into one of my favorite players on the team. Like, how could you just not admire the way he runs and is just like, you know what, man, screw the defense. I'm going to bulldoze right through you no matter what. With that being said, Kyle Monangai has been, all these guys, frankly, have been so impressive. But again, kind of like Caleb Williams over the last couple weeks, Luther Burden III has really caught my eye. At least when the Bears took him, I was looking at this selection as maybe Ben Johnson found his guy like Jamison Williams with the Lions. He has that deep playability. He's very fast. He's a really, really tough ask for any guy in a one-on-one matchup. Over the last couple weeks, I think the conversation has gone to how will he fit into this offense to, is Luther Burden the best Bears receiver on this team?
Yeah.
As a rookie.
Yeah.
As a rookie, over a clear number one receiver in DJ Moore, over a very highly potential number one receiver in Rome Odunze. He is emerging more than I thought we would have seen in such a short amount of time. And it's, again, happened so fast with the continued emergence of this passing game. All these guys have been great. I love your answer, Ruthie, about Kyle Monangai, but Luther Burden has really caught my eye the last couple weeks.
Again, I just love that we're asking this question. That says so much about the Chicago Bears and the season and where we're at. And I see why you're saying Luther Burden. You could certainly say Colston Loveland. He's been sort of Caleb Williams' security blanket, the guy who he's gone to more often than not on 3rd and 4th downs when they need that first down. I came across this little tidbit from Larry Mayer. A complete list of rookies who have amassed at least 420 receiving yards since week 9. Ruthie, that list is Colston Loveland and Luther Burden, and that's it. That's the whole.
Awesome.
That's the whole list of guys who have 420 yards receiving as far as rookies go since week 9. But I'm with you, Ruthie, that it's Kyle Monangai, because first of all, he's been doing it longer and more consistently in terms of being one of the centerpieces of this offense. And I really think, and going back to what you said about the angry runs, he's kind of, and it's weird to say this about a rookie, that running game and the role that he plays in it, kind of the heart and soul of this football team. Not just this offense, this football team. Ruthie, you know, most folks I think are familiar enough with me now to know my day job. I'm usually the midday show on our sister station, The Fan, in Milwaukee. Don't worry, one of you, born and raised Bears fan and all that. But during that Packers game a few weeks ago, my co-host, former Packers fullback John Kuhn, he texted, "This game is over. Packers took the Bears' soul." And I agreed with him. When he sent it, I was like, yeah, man, sure looks that way. They got their soul back on that long third down screen where Kyle Monangai absolutely buried Xavier McKinney in the Soldier Field turf, put him in the ground. And I felt like that play right there was when the Bears, like Undertaker, like up out of the coffin and got their soul back, and that team had some juice. Those angry runs and people seeing the style with which he runs and just the success of the run game, I think does so much to give this team the energy that they need over the course of 4 quarters and over the course of, well, we're headed into Week 18, and we are the NFC North champs here in Chicago, ladies and gentlemen, and we are not giving it back.